Hey, I got to follow up to the video that I just did when I'm talking about imperfect, I'm perfect. Just a follow up from that, which I was going to do because I know that it can be looked at least a couple different ways. And first, I just want to let you know that it was a challenge for me to make the video. But I had to be honest and I had to be transparent with you about it. And I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it freed you up as much as it freed me up. Again, this is not an excuse and this is not a free pass to just continue on in mistakes or not correcting ourselves or not striving to be better. Again, this is not an excuse and this is not a free pass to just continue on in mistakes or not correcting ourselves or not striving to be better. So I wanted to do a follow-up with that, and that's why you see the title. It says Tainted Perception. And what this is, I received a comment that says that we are perfected in Christ. And yes, we are. We are perfected in Christ. But are your thoughts perfected? Is your body perfected? Are your words perfected? Are your actions perfected? I don't think so. And that's why God has given us the tool that says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Because you know what? Our minds have not been perfected. Our bodies have not been perfected. Yes, our spirit has been perfected, renewed, and regenerated in brand new condition. But obviously, if you go look in the mirror right now, you're going to look like you did yesterday. So you and I, this vessel that we walk around here with, in this mind that has received so much information, so much ill information, so much indoctrination, and so much misinformation since the day we were born. We received some good information, don't get me wrong. And some of the ill information that we receive, it may have even come from loving people with good intentions. But nevertheless, it was still corrupted information. It could never reach the holies of information and revelation that God has for us. So while we're in these bodies navigating this earth, this will be imperfect walk in an imperfect life, okay? As we're striving to line up our minds and line up our bodies to our born again spirit. So we don't want to get that mixed up. And I didn't want to have anybody mixed up of thinking. But all you got to do is go look in the mirror and look at your life. The point that I really wanted to make and the point that I hope I can make right now is that we have to understand that. We have to understand that we are attempting every day to renew our mind to the perfection of God's thinking, of God's way of doing things. That's what we're doing. Now, in our process, in our journey of doing that, we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to miss it. We're going to fall off. We're going to say the wrong thing. We're going to do the wrong thing. And that's what I mean by not being perfect. Not that we're not perfect in Christ, in God. Oh, yes, we are. But if that was the case, this world would be a whole lot better off if it was just as simple as saying, hey, look, I have been perfected in my spirit, and I don't have to do anything in my mind or on the outside of me. But we do. We have to work on our minds, in our bodies, in our character, in our speech, in our language, in our reasoning, in our love. Which brings me to when we look at other people, when you look at me, we have to understand that we are viewing each other from a tainted perspective because our minds are not perfect. We are looking at others, you and I, me to you, at imperfected minds. And we're imposing standards and restrictions on others and even on ourselves that sometimes, most of the time, they're unrealistic. And that's what I said about love being perfected in our understanding. Because when we walk in that love and understand that we've been forgiven and that we are being chiseled on, sanded on, that we are a work in progress, that will understand that this is by grace. That is only by His grace that we're able to do this. So shouldn't we? I implore you to think, shouldn't we be operating in grace as we look at one another, as we communicate with one another? Should we be using that same grace instead of thinking for any second out of a day that there's any perfection in this world with anything that we have done, that we have made, that we have created, that we do, that there's any perfection in that? And when we look and we try to hold them standards up to other people, we're really causing people to have, a hard time. We're causing ourselves to walk in a pride because this is not our standard. We're trying to get someone to God's standard in our own strength, which is not a good thing to do. And so that's why this message was put together to free us up. So we would understand that we're gonna make mistakes, that we're gonna trip, that we're gonna miss it. Guess what? Even when we hit it, even when have a good day or have a good moment or have a good session of continuous and back-to-back days or weeks or whatever, or successes, whatever it is that we're doing, we're still gonna miss it. Okay? So this is to free us up. It's not an excuse, but it's to free us up in our quest at pressing toward the mark. Okay? God bless you. Until the next message.